this is Denise and the back of Jewel and Boomer, and this is part 2 of all the dolls. Boomer does not like to be photographed or videoed and turns his head every time the camera gets flipped up. But anyway, I talked a lot for part 1 and thought it was better to split the 2 videos, so here's the second half. And so moving on to Felicity. Now, when I bought Felicity, she was less than $40, and the person selling her didn't know who she was, just knew that she was a Pleasant Company doll, Pleasant Company stamp on the back, American Girl doll. And she was in a pair of bloomers, which definitely were not her bloomers. And so I went ahead and I bought her. She looked a little sketchy on the photo, as most of my girls do, but when I got her home and opened the box, she was beautiful, very beautiful. The hair was not as bad as it looked in the picture. It was kind of just disheveled, but it was in great condition. Let me show you her wig. Take her cap off. Look at that. Now, I don't know if Felicity just has one of the best wigs ever. It seems that some dolls had better wigs than others. And I mean, this doll is old. She's early 90s. She's in the 90s. So that wig is old. And look what shape it's in. Maybe she just didn't get played with, because she just does not, she's not all frizzed like the other ones are. That's really nice. So I just smooth it and keep it covered. Basically, I washed it, smooth it, and I keep it covered. Pin curls are wonderful. They get a little disheveled, because of how I knock the cap on and off, but they look gorgeous. Look at these gorgeous green eyes. Got a meat dress for her later down the line when I started getting meat dresses for the girls. One thing about Felicity is she has basically no face paint. Besides her eyebrows, there's just no face paint. What I really need is a catalog from the early 90s so that I can see really clear, good pictures, because you see the pictures online, but they're not really zoomed in really well when you see them online. But I would like to have an idea of how much face paint these girls really should have. And I might put some lips back on Felicity because she's so pale. Felicity was really the first doll I found out about because I was teaching colonial times to the kids, and we were watching what is it called? The PBS Liberty's Kids. Yes, we were watching Liberty's Kids, and that's how this all got started. So she is exactly that time period that I was teaching, and I found out about the American Girl dolls by looking for Pilgrim clothing. Found the dolls, then found American Girl dolls, got the catalogs. Never really bought one, but we did watch Felicity's movie. And then after we watched Felicity's movie, we started watching the other American Girl doll movies in my class up until I stopped teaching in 2013. So that's pretty much how the whole American Girl thing started. So I've always liked Felicity as far as her time period. Not too fond of Felicity as far as the character goes, but that's a different story. Okay, next is Kirsten. Oh, and I forgot to mention that every doll after this is going to be classic mold, because those are all I've already talked about the dolls with the different molds. I don't have the other 3 molds, the Asian mold, the Jess mold, and the Nanea mold. Hopefully I'll get some of those someday soon. So the rest of these girls are classic dolls, classic mold. And I mean, classic mold makes up the majority of American Girl dolls and makes up the majority of the historical dolls. Here's Kirsten. Everybody loves Kirsten. And I got a Kirsten story. So I wanted Kirsten for the collection of the 6. Went on eBay searched Kirsten's, looked at these different Kirstens, what they had on their price ranges. And there was this doll with this really cute sweater on and blue jeans and all blonde with her hair all hiked up. And from what I can tell in the picture, the eyes looked blue. And I asked the lady, does she have the squeezable vinyl? Is it Pleasant Company? She said, yeah, this is Kirsten. The eyes are blue. And I was like, okay, great. I'll give you an offer, if you want to take it. So she took the offer. Doll came. Lo and behold, I got it home. And I had just discovered that blog about dolls that were similar and how to tell the differences. I want to say it's Danrich House. It's a really nice blog if you haven't seen it yet. Then there was another video, and I can't remember who it was, and she was saying how she thought she had Kirsten, and it turned out to be a number 3. And I'm like, wait a moment. When I started comparing the pictures again, it looked like the eyes were blue in the photographs from eBay, but when I looked at Kirsten's eyes online, that was definitely not the blue it was supposed to be. And then that's when I discovered that Kirsten with braids should have the short hairs up the back of her neck. And so that doll did not have short hairs up the back of her neck. So she was indeed not Kirsten. I thought she was a number 3, but it turns out that she was a number 20 with gray eyes. And you know what? The gray eyes on Molly, to me, look bluish. And when you put them side by side with the Kirsten eyes, that's when you can tell that they're not really bluish. Okay, see, that's blue. But the gray eyes that Molly have, pretty much, I would say that was a blue, So I sold the number 20, and I kind of wish I hadn't now, but I was trying to balance doll money there. One doll came in, one doll had to go out to balance that money, because we're in pretty much the rebound from COVID, and my sales weren't all that great because there were no fiber fairs. Anyway, so I sold her for like $65, which is just a little bit more than what I paid for her. Now I know that number 20s were pretty rare. They are the last, just like you, that has the Pleasant Company faces like that, squishy vinyl. I could have got a lot more for her, and I kind of wish I hadn't sold her. But also, too, it was another blonde doll. So I had Kit. I was trying to get Kirsten. I didn't really need a bunch of blonde dolls. They looked so much alike. So I sold her. And finally found someone who was like, I have a Kirsten. I asked her, are there, there short hairs in the back of the neck? Is this Kirsten? Yes. Okay, good. So here we go. Got a Kirsten. And this Kirsten was owned by one person. It was her daughter's doll, bought new in box, and the daughter had it since the 90s. So I was like, I know this is Kirsten. This is one, doll that can be traced back, which is pretty cool because most of these dolls, a lot of them came from auction houses, and secondhand dealers. So Felicity was a secondhand dealer. Eddie came from an auction house. Let's see. I think Mary Grace came from an auction house. Number 30 came from an auction house, or an estate sale person, like that. And I'm trying to remember who else. Another one of the dolls came from an auction house, estate sale kind of thing. So who knows where those dolls came from? But Kirsten's one of the ones that actually came from someone who owned the doll from the very beginning, from a family. Okay, so also Kirsten, look how pale she is. There's basically no makeup left on her face, no color left on her face, except for her eyebrows. But this wig is in pretty good shape. And so I thought maybe I'd get her a new blonde wig, but I don't think so. I think this wig will be just fine. It survived this long, it will survive some more. Kirsten is wearing her school dress and apron from the Pleasant Company patterns that I made. You can watch the video that I made about making the Kirsten dress from the Pleasant Company patterns. I'm down to the final four. Over here we have Kit Kittredge and Molly McIntyre. I really love Kit. I just really love Kit as a character. Some of the other dolls I have just because they're historical significance, or I like the way their face most look. But Kit, I actually like Kit. I haven't really read the stories, but I have seen the movie, and from that, I really like her. She's spunky, she's brave, she's resourceful, and she's just cute. So she was a second doll I got after the Be Forever Eddie. I saw her on eBay and I was like, oh, Kit. I gotta have Kit. And also, I watched the Kit movies with my nieces. So they were pretty thrilled when I showed up with Kit because they're familiar with her. When I got her, she did have her cardigan and she had her skirt. Not the cardigan, I'm sorry. She had her shirt and the skirt, but not the cardigan or the shoes. And her hair was all chopped up. I thought, after looking around, that it would be relatively easy to find a Kit wig because she's not retired. And like you would think there'd be a lot of cute blonde bob wigs. And really, there wasn't. There was like one choice, and it still wasn't really Kit's wig. Didn't really look like her. So I put it off, and instead I decided to make Kit my go-to doll for historical time periods where I didn't have a doll to fit in. 1700s, in places like that. So I got some wigs and I would swap her out. There's some of my Instagram pictures with her in the swap wigs and some of the earlier videos in the 1700s gown. You can see her with the swapped wig. But I really felt kind of bad because, like I said, I got the dolls for their historical characters, their historical timelines. And although Kit's timeline, the 1930s, is not really in my historical genre for making clothes, I still kind of wanted her to have her identity, especially since I really like Kit so much. So what I actually did was buy a second Kit doll. Now, this is not the first time I've done this. I will talk about that when we get to Sammy. But for the price of a wig, which is like $35, $40, I got a second Kit. And she was intact. She had her hair and she had the meat beret. She had the whole outfit on and the shoes. And only thing she didn't have was the correct bloomers, but she has underwear on. And so when the second Kit got here, she was wrapped up like a mummy. She had been a child's toy, and she was so adorable. And that's when I realized how totally different these two Kits were. This Kit over here that I currently have is Pleasant Company stamped. So she's an earlier Kit. I think Kit came out 2001, might have been 2000. So far, I have not found any of those little tags on the inside of any of the dolls that they say might have them. So anything is like 2000 to 2006 or 2009 or whatever. Sometimes has those punched tags on the inside. She doesn't have one. Kaya doesn't have one. I haven't seen one of those yet to tell me exactly when she was made. And the other Kit didn't have one. But the other Kit was stamped American Girl. She was a little shorter. She actually had a little fuller face. It was a little chunkier. She was actually a little chunkier than this Kit is. She was really cute. And I was like, man, which kit do I keep? Do I keep them both? I really don't want to have two of the same dolls. Um, so I decided that I didn't want to keep them both, that I would sell one kit and keep the other, or maybe I would customize the other kit, but then I still have a kit like doll. So I decided to keep the one that had the Pleasant Company stamp on it. And I took the wig off of that kit and kept her outfit and sold her to someone where she would be customized. So it really wouldn't matter if she had the wig or not. Though I sent the wig with her just in case, she needed it for any reason. So now I have this kit and she's in her complete outfit, and I sold the other outfit. And sorry about that. And she is absolutely adorable. Get a closer look at her. They're cute freckles. She has a little face paint on her. And she has a spot somewhere a little orange spot I wasn't able to get off with the magic eraser. I might try to peroxide on her. And I went ahead and I glued this wig down. She's not my changeable kit anymore, which is kind of sad because I had some really cute wigs, blonde wigs for her. You really can't dye those wigs. But I figure I'll just find another American Girl doll, Truly Me or something, and use those wigs on her. All right, next is Molly McIntyre. She is in the Victory tap dance outfit. Not the shoes, though. I haven't been able to get a hold of the shoes. They're kind of expensive. And so I got this outfit in two parts. Like I said, usually inexpensive. Sometimes it's more economical to piece things together, sometimes not, especially when you have an outfit that is really expensive if you try to get the whole outfit together. So, and these are just some little things I got from the local store just to, be cute. Okay, so Molly here, these are not her glasses. The first Molly I got was a Mattel Molly because it was really hard to find Mollies. Supposedly Molly is harder to find. That's what they say. Sometimes on eBay I'd see a bunch of Mollies. Sometimes I'd see no Mollies. It was hard to get Mollies and they were kind of expensive. And so I finally got a Molly and got her and realized she was a Mattel Molly. I kept her for a while, cleaned her up nicely. But of course, I really wanted a Pleasant Company Molly. So I asked the person, it's got the Pleasant Company stamp. Is she the soft vinyl? And the person said no. But I'm like, I'll take a chance on it. So I did, and she came. When she came, she looked a hot mess. I have a video on her, which is not all that great. I'm going to post some of the footage from it anyway. And she smelled horribly like smoke. Like Molly was a chain smoker. It was terrible. So her wig came out nicely after I washed it, but her body smelled like smoke. So I took all the stuffing out and aired it out, spread a little Febreze on it, a little Lysol spray on it, a couple of things. And finally was able to get the smell to go away. Molly's one of the ones I've been thinking about re-wigging. Be Beauty has a really nice Molly style wig. And I'm seriously thinking about it, taking this wig off and just kind of putting it away. Not throwing it away because you never know when I might need the original wig back, and putting on the new wig. And you know what? That's always the thing. Like, I'm not planning to sell any of these dolls, but the question always is, when you're trying to retain value and you have something like a messed up wig, is it better to take that wig off and replace it with a good looking wig? Does that decrease the value because it's not the original wig? Or does it increase the value because the wig looks good? Or is it better to have the original wig and that's not in the best condition, but it is the original wig? I don't really know about that. I guess it depends on whoever it is you're selling it to. Okay, look at Molly's great eyes. So far, with the exception of Addie, nobody's had any silver eye or any bubble eye. She has almost no makeup on her face, no coloring on her face, very little, but she is more than Kirsten or Felicity do. So you can see what condition this wig is in. It's okay. Needs a lot of TLC. Okay, so I sold the Mattel Molly and got my Pleasant Company Molly. And last are the two Sammys. Okay, now Samantha on the left is clearly taller than Samantha on the right. They say 18-inch dolls, but they're not all technically 18-inch. Some of them are a little shorter. Some of them are a little taller. It just depends. My understanding is that things were sourced from all over the place, especially in early years. And there are some things that were handmade and cottage industry style. So you're going to find some variation in molds, in height, in the wigs. There'll be some variation in eye colors. You have some variation in clothing styles, as far as one, the tea dress from one period might be different from tea dress from years later. Or I know someone's doing a documentation on I think there's the Sorry dolls. I think that's Kirsten's doll. And there are like 7 different versions, maybe more. That particular doll, because they were made by hand in different places. So there's a lot of variation, even between the classic molds. They're not all, 100% identical, exact. So these two Sams are just a little slightly different. Okay, so here's the story. Sammy number 1 is on the left. I think I got her maybe second or third. I think it was Kit, Felicity, and then Sam. I saw her, and she had this really cute outfit on. Well, it was just the shirt and the jumper, I think it was. I'm not sure if she had the boots came from the other one. Anyway, she had the shirt and the jumper on. She was laid out in the grass, and her hair was tied back, and it was so cute. And the lady said that she had a damaged wig. And from what I saw, it was that the wig cap at the bottom, the wig ribbon was exposed. And I did my research and discovered that earlier dolls, early 90s dolls, had wig ribbons that look like that. And the Sammy is the only, no, maybe the Josefina, I don't know. Anyway, the Sammy is the only one that has that wig ribbon. I'm trying to think. Yes. So, I think Eddie does too. I have to look now. Anyway, so I know that she's an earlier Sam than this one is. And so I figured that was a damage. Well, when I got her here, I discovered that her hair was cut, or at least it looked cut to me from what I could tell. That looks short. That I expected Sam to have longer hair. But this wig is really, really curly. So if it wasn't short, it would be really nicely curled. And so I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to be able to put her hair up into styles that were fitting that time frame. And so I just was trying to decide whether I was going to re-wig her. But because, dropped the hat. Because she is a ribbon wig doll, and that gives a good idea of her age, I was kind of leery about pulling the wig off, and I wanted her to have a Pleasant Company wig. And the Pleasant Company wigs from older Pleasant Company dolls are not really that easy to find. So I figured I would get a second Samantha and pull her wig off. I like the kid story, but the Samantha one came first. So I ordered the second Samantha. I thought it would just be second Samantha and I would sell her bald for someone to customize. When she got here, I realized that she is different. They are not the same Samanthas at all. Even their hair color is different. This one has darker hair color than this one. Not only that, it's a completely different style of wig. This Samantha has longer, loose curls, and it would be looser than that, except I curled it with the rollers. So I've seen the Samanthas with the big kind of spiral hanging curl, and I've seen the Samantha with just a little bit of wave in it, and she's the one with just a little bit of wave. So it's not even the same wig. And that was not what I was looking for. I really wanted that curly wig like that. So I decided instead of swapping wigs, I would just keep both Samanthas. All right, now, Samantha over here is in her midi dress. I got the midi dress with the hat and the boots. And I would like to get the whistle to go with it. I generally not interested in collecting the doll's clothing besides the meat outfit. I only got one meat outfit. And because the whole point of this is for me to make the clothing, but there are a few outfits that I would not be able to reproduce the way they are made in American Girl. And I really want them to be exactly the way they are. So I decided that those would be the outfits I would buy. And the midi dress is one of them. So that one I decided I would get. This doll over here is wearing the Anne pattern. And I'm not going to get into it because it needs its own video when I get to Samantha and the Victorian/Edwardian period. Okay, so that's about it. This video is really long. I feel like I went on and on, but sorry about that. I can't imagine what would happen if I had more dolls. I'd really be going on and on. At any rate, thank you for watching. Please click that like button if you got anything out of the video. If you have any questions or comments about any of the dolls in the video, let me know. They'll be making their appearances in their own individual videos as I continue to make historical doll clothing for their time eras. Have a great day, everyone.